Welcome to Field of Flowers. For 100 years, our family-owned flower business has been continually improved to serve customers with the freshest flowers and the lushest ornamental plants possible. Enter into any of our Field of Flowers locations, and you'll see more than 150 varieties of colorful fresh-cut flowers by the stem or the bunch. A selection of elegantly designed floral arrangements for pickup and delivery. An assortment of beautifully cultivated potted flowering plants and plant arrangements. Traditional and designer pots and planters to complement homes and offices. Sales associates who are ready to help you. Designers with ideas and experience to create magnificent arrangements for any occasion. Classes for people who are interested in learning to design floral arrangements. Event consultants who work with bridal parties and event coordinators to provide color-coordinated floral arrangements for that special day. And behind these doors, we have state-of-the-art cooling equipment to extend the freshness of cut flowers. And employees who are taking online and phone orders for delivery worldwide. These and other important differences make Field of Flowers unlike any other flower market in the world. Yes, it's a big claim, but please take a few moments to listen to our family's century-old story, and you will understand why we are different. It all began with James Don, my grandfather.
Born in Lanark, Scotland, to a blacksmith and the second youngest of 8 brothers and sisters, young Jimmy was apprenticed to nurseryman William Sturrock when his parents realised he did not have the strength to swing a hammer. In 1909, at age 22, Jimmy immigrated to America with a letter of introduction to a New York City florist and a few dollars in his pocket. He worked as a landscaper on John D. Rockefeller's estate and for other famous industrialists of the day, Andrew Carnegie and George Gould. He also met his future wife, a red-cheeked, dark-eyed beauty, Nellie Whitefield, a lady's maid who, coincidentally, was born a few miles from his hometown in Scotland. Jimmy decided in 1912 to make his own fortune, moving to a community near Jacksonville, Florida, to work as an ornamental shrub manager. While supervising crews and making sure that plants were cared for, he became ill. Fortunately, he was encouraged to see a doctor in Jacksonville, who diagnosed Jimmy with typhoid fever. Jimmy was hospitalized, and the near-death experience motivated him to move on with his life. He asked Nellie to join him in Jacksonville, where they married. As they honeymooned in Miami, the couple saw opportunity in the bustling port city and decided to stay. One of his first jobs was to help landscape the Deering Estate's beautiful Vizcaya Gardens. The Dons decided in 1915 to start a landscaping and florist business and bought the Miami branch of the Jacksonville landscaping firm where Jimmy had worked, changing the name to Exotic Gardens after winning a floral contest using non-native exotic plants. His business reputation grew as Jimmy landscaped other millionaires' estates in Miami. The young couple also delivered flowers to customers by horse and buggy. Jimmy was gregarious and likeable, reciting the writings of Scottish poets, easily holding conversations, possessing a sharp mind for business, and building relationships based on trust. He grew the landscaping and floral business, hiring people who worked hard and had a desire to grow with the business. Several employees worked for him for more than 65 years. In 1925, Exotic Gardens joined a new flower ordering system, Florist Telegraph Delivery, now known as FTD, so that his customers could have flowers delivered anywhere in the US. When adversity struck, Jimmy turned it into opportunity. While landscaping a horse race track in Miami, the owner failed to pay Jimmy and other contractors. Instead of writing off the debt, Jimmy became a part owner in the Tropical Park racetrack and whetted his boyhood interest in horse racing. The experience would serve him well when, in 1944, Exotic Gardens and several business partners bought bankrupt Gulfstream Racetrack in Hollandale. Using his landscaping prowess and business experience, Jimmy transformed Gulfstream into an elegant, thoroughbred racing destination. Jimmy also persuaded the Florida legislature to spread racing dates evenly between South Florida's 3 tracks during the peak tourist season, giving his track its much-needed business. Meanwhile, the family's flower business flourished. Exotic Gardens eventually operated 10 stores in South Florida and Jacksonville. The business expanded its flower and plant growing operations to nurseries in Miami and Davie. A fleet of trucks delivered fresh flowers and plants to homes and businesses throughout South Florida. As the business grew, so did the Don family. Jimmy's daughter Helen married Fred Flipsy, a World War II veteran whose family grew fruit trees in Dade County and who eventually became Exotic Gardens chairman. As the second generation became more involved in the businesses, Jimmy stepped back to enjoy the fruits of his labours. The poor blacksmith's son, who had crossed the Atlantic to the United States in the bottom deck of an old ship in 1909, returned 47 years later to his native Scotland aboard the luxurious RMS Queen Elizabeth in first class, having fulfilled his American dream. Fred and Helen's son Don Flipsy grew up in the business. It's said that the first word that he spoke was flower. After graduating from Dartmouth College, Don joined the family business as a floral designer.
I joined the Exotic Gardens about a year after graduating from college, working first at our Coral Gables store. My grandfather and father put me with a mentor who was an excellent floral designer and a wonderful teacher. I had worked at various jobs at the company from an early age, but never as a designer. My mentor and other designers at the store taught me floral design during the next year. I had a degree from a good college, but this was like getting my master's degree in floristry. I still remember the satisfaction of seeing a customer select an arrangement from the cooler that I had created and happily paying us money for it. That's sort of the essence of our business. During the next few years, I managed a few different locations, and then my father, who was the president, made me the general manager overseeing the stores, the nursery, and the wholesale florist business. About 1980, I became president, and my father remained as chairman.
Under his guidance, the company began importing flowers from South America, Europe, and even Asia. After Jimmy Don's passing in 1972, the Don and Flipsy families continued to operate Gulfstream and Exotic Gardens until both businesses were sold in 1989. Although Exotic Gardens was no longer part of his family, Don Flipsy's passion for the business did not fade. If anything, he felt it was unfinished and decided to continue the family floral business.
I not only had worked at Exotic for nearly 20 years, but had also visited many types of flower stores and markets all around the US and Europe. I felt that I could take that experience and create a better kind of flower market. After discussing it with my wife, Diana, we decided to start a new company that would create and operate such a store.
With family members and several business partners, he developed the idea for a spacious and welcoming floral store that systematically provided consumers with a fresher and a wider variety of flowers than other florist shops. But first, the business needed a name.
I remember that we considered dozens, maybe hundreds, including, of course, Flipsy Flowers. The movie Field of Dreams had been a big hit the year before. It was an inspirational, romantic, feel-good movie. When someone eventually came up with Field of Flowers, everyone loved it immediately.
Field of Flowers opened in 1990 in Davie, Florida, in suburban Fort Lauderdale, and in the heart of South Florida. Stores were later opened in Boca Raton and Palmetto Bay. Field of Flowers was established to be a different kind of flower store, with 21,000 square feet of showroom, office and storage space, a welcoming layout drawing people in, a wider array and larger variety of flowers than traditional florist shops, including flowers for walk-in customers and delivery that are in bunches, stems, by the box, and in arrangements with a range of pricing to suit all budgets for all occasions. Field of Flowers' success stems from being the easiest place to shop from the biggest selection of the freshest flowers at the lowest prices.
When we do an orientation of new associates to our company, one of the first things we introduce is this promise to our customers. We acknowledge that promising to do all of those things at the same time is audacious. We adopted it precisely because it is audacious, and we aim to keep that promise. Having such a goal, I feel, keeps us focused on the need to continuously improve how we do things, and makes business challenging and fun.
Field of Flowers continually strives for quality, from the appearance of its stores, the type of people that it hires, to keeping flowers fresher by treating and nourishing them to last longer.
The flowers, which are still in their tight bud stage, are taken from our coolers into the showroom and placed in buckets of flower food solution where they blossom. After 2 to 3 days, our blossoming flowers are rotated into floral arrangements that you see in our cooler displays. The floral arrangements are delivered to customers throughout South Florida, or can be purchased in our stores. Those flowers that have been allowed to develop last longer and look beautiful.
Field of Flowers is a place where employees enjoy coming to work.
It's fun to work here. I don't know. I love what I do. When we do those big arrangements, they love it. They cannot believe. They asking how you do, how many flowers, how many things. That makes me feel good. It makes somebody happy.
The best part about working here is the appreciation that the customers have when you can successfully help them find flowers or bouquets. The majority of the people who come in here are men looking for flowers for their wives, so when I can help them find what they need, the thanks that they have, it just feels really great.
I love working with flowers. I'm surrounded by beautiful flowers and plants all day, and I love my coworkers.
For me, it's the plants. It's the life. It's having life surrounding you. And whenever you walk out onto the sales floor and seeing the different colors and the growth and the beauty, just being surrounded by the beauty alone is just enough to want to work here.
Very beautiful color. All the color. But color is making very beautiful, bright, making happy.
The scale of it is just shocking when I first got here, and I wanted to be part of it because it's big, and it's fun, and it's doing something.
What do you like about the people here?
A very diverse group of people, positive and hard workers, and they have the passion too. The designers here love what they do, and that means a lot. And it shows because a lot of people have been here for long periods of time, years and years, and so I'm glad to be part of it.
Being essentially a retail business, we have a lot of positions for retail sales clerks, etc., and merchandisers, people who merchandise the store, especially with perishable product that needs to be replenished constantly. So we hire a lot of great high school kids, college people. They come in with very little skills, but they come in with a lot of enthusiasm and energy, and that's the type of people that we're trying to hire. And then over the years, a lot of them have gone on to, of course, being very successful in different careers, doctors, lawyers. I know a young man who currently is in the state attorney's office in Broward County, and we're pleased that maybe we've given them a good start on their careers. And then of course some of those people stay with us. They enjoy it and they see a career opportunity here at Field of Flowers. So we've had some people work for us for many years who started with us at age of 16 or 17 and are still with the company.
After its first successful century of growth, Field of Flowers and the Flipses are continuing Jimmy Don's legacy of beautiful flowers and outstanding customer service for future generations of customers to enjoy.
My grandparents and parents believed that the only way to have a happy, healthy company was to provide the highest quality products and service at the best price. In other words, we must make our customers happy. At Field of Flowers, we aspire to grow because a larger firm can do many things that smaller ones cannot, including providing good jobs for more people. However, we realize that any company that is not built upon a strong base of quality is inherently unstable. Therefore, producing quality which is consistent and ever improving must come before growth. The Field of Flowers Board of Directors, on which I am joined by my wife, daughter, and oldest son, is dedicated to making our legacy a company that continues to grow by adding happiness to the lives of customers, associates, suppliers, and perhaps future generations of Flipsies.